Hi, Dr. Patrick Gentempo here, and thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel. We have great content in store for you. I'm so excited to be here with you, and let's jump right into it. Max Wright, he's a YouTube influencer that has a lot to say about Bitcoin. His perspectives are very strong, and he certainly has done a lot of research around this, so I think you'll find him not only entertaining, but really informative. Enjoy this interview. Max, thanks so much for taking the time to do this interview.
Thanks so much for having me.
So let's hear a bit about your background. What got you doing what you're doing today?
It was a bit of a journey. For whatever reason, I got the entrepreneur bug really early. I graduated college with a degree in electrical engineering, and then never worked in the industry. I'd maybe for like 6 months, and corporate world was clearly not for me. And so I knew I had to get into business. The problem was I'd been through 20 years of formal education, which gets you geared up to be an employee. And so I really, I understood from the very get-go that I was starting from zero. Like I was in kindergarten in the School of Entrepreneurs. And unfortunately, the School of Entrepreneurs, to my knowledge, although it's a lot better now with YouTube and things like that, but back then, the only school was the School of Hard Knocks, and very much still true today. But you do have the help of a lot of great mentors on YouTube and some content creators, etc. So I got into the world of entrepreneurism, failed miserably for a whole bunch of years as I went from kindergarten through to masters in entrepreneurism. So that was my 20s, and then started hitting some really big home runs. And once all that money started pouring in, I realized very quickly that I had to become good as an entrepreneur. Now I need to become good as an investor. And I've always had a passion for macroeconomics and things like that. Don't ask me why, I just geek out on that stuff a little bit. And so I think the very first thing I ever downloaded, the internet came out with my dial-up connection, I downloaded a speech by G. Edward Griffin on the Federal Reserve. And that just set up my whole life, I think. So I geeked out on macroeconomics, then became what is called a macro investor, which is I'm not the world's best real estate entrepreneur. I'm not the world's best Bitcoin investor. I'm not the world's best anything, but I always try and put myself in the place where I'm always swimming with the current. And so if I understood what was happening in the macro, and I thought, okay, well, I can see a macro trend here, I need to be in Bitcoin, or I need to be in real estate. And so as long as I was swimming with the current, I didn't need to be that good a swimmer at doing any particular thing. And so it's worked out quite well for me.
So what's interesting right now is I feel like we're in uncharted territory as far as what's going on in the world. I mean, suddenly on a macroeconomic level, you start looking at this pandemic and then kind of the reaction to it, and how much debt is being increased, trillions of dollars basically being printed to help deal with the situation, et cetera. How has all this impacted your thinking around investment?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, very much so. I mean, it's kind of like I am quite good at economics. Unfortunately, throw that out the window because it means nothing. Like understanding economics doesn't do anything anymore because the central banks of the world are printing so much money that, are things going to go up or things going to go down? Well, it's really simple. Everything's going to go up until everything goes down. And, you can outperform certain asset classes, certainly, and some things are better than others. But basically, I mean, if they want nothing to ever go down ever, then they just keep printing money and keep stimulus checks, and they'll keep doing that forever and ever, and everything will go up until we have a currency failure. And so that's the big warning. Now they can do something which is, I think, pretty unlikely, and something but the ruling class for over the centuries and millennia. When they have access to a fiat currency, they always take the easy option, which is easy but extremely painful in the end, which is to just print more money. Now, what they could do is they could show some restraint and let the market correct itself and let the excesses of the market get pushed out, and let's reset the debt and let's liquidate that debt. And it'll be a very painful experience, but it'll be less painful than what will happen if they debauch the currency. And history shows they always choose to debauch the currency. Modern monetary theory, as they call it, is the same old over and over and over again that fails miserably. Print more money until people lose faith in the currency. When that happens, you have a really, really painful reset, much more painful than just a Great Depression style of reset, when there's that massive unwinding and deleveraging that happens with that.
So a couple of quick questions. You used the phrase currency collapse. What does that mean?
Well, in a word or a phrase, it means a lack of faith in the currency. It means where people don't want it. and we already see that. I see this in the Bitcoin world a lot. I don't want money. Like there's plenty of places I can go and I can use my Bitcoin to buy houses and cars and things. I don't want to. I want to hoard my Bitcoin. My Bitcoin's going up at a rate of like 200% a year. It's the money, the fiat currency, the US dollars, the European, the euros, they are getting printed all the time. So, my percentage of currency is going down and it's being devalued all the time. Every year it buys less. My grandmother bought a gallon of milk for 3 cents or whatever it was. Now it's $5. That is just long term, and they tell you it. Say, hey, listen, we're targeting inflation of 2%, and they've even said higher than that now. What that means is they're printing the money so that the value of the money goes down, so that you need more currency to buy stuff. And if you go to the grocery store, stuff costs more than 50 years ago. If you go to like the stock market, things cost a lot more than they did 50 years ago. And that is them just printing money. Now, it's all good and well as long as you have faith that they're not going to abuse that privilege and print and print and print and print more, to the point where you go Venezuela, or you go Zimbabwean dollar, or you go, or any of the history, like the continental. The phrase "not worth the continental" was because of a hyperinflation in the continental dollars back, in the United States. So the United States has seen this kind of hyperinflation and debauchement of the currency before, and it's just history repeating. So when people lose faith in that currency, they try and get it out of their hands as fast as possible. Like they hoard the good stuff and they try and get rid of the dollars as fast as possible. And I think we're seeing it right now. They print more money. People kind of get a feeling, either they understand it intuitively, or they get it, they can articulate it. Some people can, some people can't. But they understand that money's getting printed all the time and therefore it's losing value. When it comes, I've got to do something with it. I've got to buy an asset. I've got to buy an income producing piece of real estate, or buy some stock, or buy some Bitcoin. And so you've got to buy something. That's why everything will go up as long as they keep printing. The moment they stop, they're like, oh, maybe we might actually have honest money. Then we all know what's going to happen. There has to be this massive deleveraging because they've goosed the market so much. Everything is in a bubble, everything. And so that all has to deleverage if we have honest money. If they continue to print the money, then everything continues to go up. And so we're all, as investors, we're all just sitting here trying to guess what the powers that be are going to do. And history tells us they're going to keep printing.
Thanks so much for being here and watching that video. And can I ask you to please subscribe to our channel so you can find out when we're posting new content. You'll be alerted right away when we do. To share this with people you think might benefit from the information. And certainly it helps us if you like the video. So if you like what you just saw, go ahead and hit that like button. And again, thank you so much for being here with me right now.